Lose to Ball State first time around by 4 points, lose by 7 points in this game. Miami by 8, and Central Michigan by 4. So you guys have taken the top teams really to the brink in this conference. I mean, despite the result, I mean, just what does it say about your team's ability to, handle those kind of teams, and how much confidence does that give you going into a tournament where you might see those kind of teams again?
It gives us a lot of confidence, and it means that we can win. We play really well against some of the top teams in the conference. We beat UMass on the road. That's a really, really good win for us. So it just means that if we execute and handle everything we need to handle, that we have everything we need to win the championship in Cleveland.
6 20-point game for you in conference play. I mean, just in your last performance here at Savage, how did it feel to have the kind of night that you did?
It felt good. I wanted to leave my last game at Savage with a W, but, overall, I felt like we fought hard, and I felt like we learned a lot about each other, and, we just know we're capable of doing anything. So it felt good.
And lastly for me, I mean, just in your mind, what is the main thing, the biggest thing that you guys need to work on and improve before you head to this MAC tournament?
Rebounding, executing on the defense and offensive end, and transition defense and transition offense, attacking first and transition. And I think it will be great if we just do all those things, and we have a really good chance.
Aside from the outcome, obviously wanting to win here, what were the emotions like inside? Like playing your final game in Savage here, and all the emotions that come with it?
I felt the same, actually, other than like before the game when I watched the video that Coach Jenny had made for me. But, maybe a little bit more fight, but it wasn't because it was my last game at Savage. It was because I wanted to beat Ball State, you know what I'm saying? So I think that I just wanted to just go out there and play hard for the crowd.
A little bit of a slow start. I think one main bucket in the first half here, and then getting it going as the team comes up. What was that change in halftime that you had?
I got back in the game. I had 2 early fouls, and, Coach Jenny did try to put me back in. But, I can't be as aggressive when I have 2 fouls. So, just playing free and more aggressive in the second half, because I know I only still had 3 fouls left. So I think that was the big difference, just being able to be aggressive.
And looking at the final score, get within single digits after being down 19 against one of the best teams in the MAC, still without faith and banged up and down the bench. How much confidence does that give you guys going into the MAC that you can compete with anybody?
It gives us a lot of confidence. If we don't put ourselves in a hole early, I feel like we have a very, very good chance of competing in Cleveland for a championship.
Really fun to see the support for Patricia tonight. Sorry to come away with a win. It's not lost on me that we're shorthanded a little bit out there without Faith and Eva, 2 of our starters, and limits on Miriam. But I still am going to prepare every night. I still think we had every chance in the world. I was incredibly proud of our fight. But we ran up against a very good team, a big team with positional size and more depth than I think they had last year. Well-coached basketball team, a hard-fought battle. I think it'll always be hard-fought between these 2 programs. And I think we're locked at the 6. Is that correct, gentlemen? Are we locked at the 6 seed? Yes. All right, so we'll start getting to work right now, and get ready to go make a push.
You have a game like this where there's a big stretch in the middle of it where it seemed like nothing could really go right for you guys. I mean, just how do you, and you're facing injury adversity, obviously, but I mean, how do you as a coach kind of rally the troops, and what did it say about your team that they were able to have the fourth quarter that they did and make this game closer?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it says they wear their Toledo jersey, and I mean that humbly. These kids are fighters. Every single person that got even a single minute tonight fought. You could see that we were fatigued. I thought, who played the most minutes for us? Ella Weaver played her tail off. Cadence Dykstra, I left her out there forever at one point, and she was just playing her tail off. So, I think it says that we care. I think it says that we love each other. I think it says that we have pride. And I think it says that we need to make a few more shots in the second quarter to have a chance. When we get to the line, we need to knock it down.
Something that's consistently, or that I've consistently seen, that guys have struggled a little bit with some of the top post players that have come through, and especially, funny enough, both Aleko on Eastern Michigan and Tesson Towers here, 39 points in 2 matchups for each of them. I mean, just do you feel like that's due in part to just the injuries of players of size that have kind of cut up to this team in that area? And just what do you think it'll take you guys to turn that around in the paint defensively?
Yeah, I think it's due in part, like I said, having size to pressure the passers and then finish the play with rebounding. You know, Tessa had 4 offensive rebounds. I think that was 4 or 6 second chance points for her. So there's a fifth of her buckets. But it's certainly a need that we'll address in the postseason, potentially in the portal.
Just you lose to Ball, same question as Catholic. You lose to Ball State by 4 in the first matchup. You lose to Miami by 7 or 8, I think, in that 8 in that matchup. Central by 4, and then 7 here against Ball State in the second matchup. I mean, just what does it say about your team, despite all the adversity they've faced recently, that they're able to hang with the top teams and push them to the brink when they might see these teams again in the MAC tournament coming up?
I think it says we are a top team. We don't have a double-digit loss in conference play. Now, do we have too many losses in conference play? Absolutely. But we don't have a single double-digit loss. We're right there. We've got to understand that the margins are really slim. And so, maybe a silly last-second foul at the end of the clock or a haphazard turnover, those things really add up throughout the course of a game. And certainly no one's fouling on purpose. Certainly no one's turning it over on purpose. But we've really got to understand the value of every possession and understand these margins are really, really small. The team that we went with at Monmouth, I think we had 6 6-point losses. Same thing. We've got to learn now. And then again, we need a few more shots to fall, and we need a couple more calls to go our way. And then I think it's a really different basketball game.
You mentioned at the start in that video how much nutrition meant to the program and to you and to coach. It's a secret today, having 1 bucket in the first half, I think it was, and then to storm ahead like she did in the second, particularly when their team needed her. What does that say about the kind of player she is?
Yeah, it didn't surprise me at all. The second foul surprised me a little bit because we've really been working on that, and her discipline has really improved here. She's an aggressive defender, and she's got a big task night in and night out, defending the other team's best player and often leading us in scoring. Right? That's a big ask. But that didn't surprise me at all. I knew she was going to come out ready. She was talking to her team at halftime. When you've been doing this for a minute and you have a great relationship with a player like I do with Pat, like I could look in her eyes and tell she wanted the ball, so we're trying to run some stuff for her. She's a little bit short on the 3, but again, this kid's got 24 and 5, and again guarding the other team's best player on the perimeter, and she was tremendous for us tonight.
She said it felt like a normal game up until I asked her how it felt. She was like, it just feels like a routine game here. I think maybe part of that has to do with doing the events beforehand and honoring the seniors. As a coach to you, did that kind of put it out of your mind as the game was going on, that this was her last one here? In my
humble experience, I think it's better for the players to do it first. You don't want to build up to that. And not that we're trying to get anything out of the way. We want to honor and acknowledge them, and then we want to give them a free and clear pass to go do what they love to do and not be thinking about anything else. And so, we knew there was going to be some emotion there. So much. Basketball has been her life. It's so much of who she is. And so there's no question if she chooses to be a pro, she'll be a pro. But yeah, I like before to get it done and get all the feels out, and then we go hoop.
And when you look at, you talk about how much you guys have already competed with some of the top ranking teams in the not the most competitive, where I think many people would put you guys. When you look at what you've done with them, and to now not have faith, to have Miriam on playing restrictions here, and to still take Ball State within single digits here, that's got to give you a lot of confidence to know that we're still just as competitive against them as we were earlier in the season full health.
For sure, and I think Eva Cole was teetering between our 3rd and 4th leading scorer, our 2nd and 3rd leading rebounder, and so she's one of the best passers on our team. We missed some open looks tonight because we couldn't see it, and so that's a 6'2" starter that we could have really used defensively against Bree Salenbean. There's still a chance that Eva could be back, but we're going to just practice an abundance of caution and make sure that she's well. We don't want to push that in any way. We're right there. But close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? We got to find a way to get this done. And, like I said, my standard for this program, my standard for myself, and my standard for Toledo is certainly higher.